You're about to hear a story of failure, betrayal, and billions lost, all hidden behind the walls of a stadium. What was once built as a proud symbol of St. Louis's comeback quickly became one of the most embarrassing deals in NFL history. A stadium that promised glory ended up losing its team, its fans, and nearly its purpose. How did a state-of-the-art dome become a national punchline? Why did one of America's most loyal football cities get abandoned like it never mattered? This isn't just a story about football. It's about broken promises, failed negotiations, and a city left holding the bill. From last-minute renovation proposals to secret land purchases in California, from public money poured into concrete dreams to lawsuits worth hundreds of millions, the drama surrounding this stadium is more gripping than the game itself. And even now, years later, the future of this massive structure remains in limbo. Some want it upgraded, others want it torn down. But one thing is clear: what happened here should serve as a warning to every city betting big on sports dreams. In this video, I'll take you inside the rise and fall of the dome at America's center. You'll see how it went from a beacon of hope to a cautionary tale. You'll discover the hidden forces behind the Rams' move to Los Angeles. And most importantly, we'll look at whether this stadium and this city can rise again. So stay with me. What you're about to hear might just change the way you see professional sports forever. When the St. Louis Cardinals football team left for Phoenix in 1988, the city was left heartbroken. But it didn't stay silent. Leaders quickly came together with a plan. They would build a brand new stadium, one with a roof, modern design, and space to host conventions too. By 1989, the city approved public bond funding for the project. In 1992, construction began on the dome. The design included local touches: brick, limestone, and red-tinted concrete that matched St. Louis's older buildings. It was a symbol of pride. At first, the NFL didn't give St. Louis a new team. Instead, expansion franchises went to Jacksonville and Charlotte. But in 1995, something unexpected happened. The Rams, then based in Los Angeles, decided to move. Their owner, Georgia Frontier, pushed for relocation. At first, NFL owners rejected the idea, but under legal pressure, they gave in. The Rams officially became St. Louis's team. That same year, the team played their first few home games at Bush Memorial Stadium. Then, on November 12, 1995, they finally entered the new dome, winning their first game there 28-17. At the time, it felt like a huge victory. The city had its team, and the stadium had a purpose. It was even renamed a few times. First the Trans World Dome, then the Edward Jones Dome. Over the years, St. Louis invested in the facility. In 2009, the city spent $30 million on renovations. New LED video boards, updated club areas, and a redesigned locker room gave the venue a fresh look. Even a new AstroTurf system was added, allowing the field to be stored below ground. But none of it was enough. Here's where things start to crack: the lease. When the Rams moved in, their contract came with one big condition. The dome had to stay in the top 25% of NFL stadiums until 2015. If it didn't, the Rams could leave without any penalty. Every 10 years, the stadium would be reviewed. If it failed to meet that first-tier standard, the team had the power to either demand upgrades or switch to a risky year-to-year lease. At first, things seemed fine, but as the years passed, the stadium aged. Newer, flashier NFL arenas made the dome look outdated. By the late 2000s, complaints were piling up, and St. Louis's grip on the Rams was already starting to slip. As time went on, it became clear the dome couldn't keep up. By 2008, fan surveys and media reports were calling it one of the worst stadiums in the NFL. It had poor sightlines, a dull atmosphere, and almost no tailgating space. Even with new screens and luxury areas, it still felt cold and outdated. It wasn't just the fans who noticed. The Rams knew it too. But the real pressure came from the lease. In 2012, with another review deadline approaching, The Convention and Visitors Commission suggested a $48 million upgrade plan. This included things like new suites and a large parking garage. The Rams said no. So the city offered a bigger proposal, $124 million worth of upgrades, with the Rams paying half. Again, they refused. The Rams fired back with a bold plan, a brand new $700 million rebuild. It would have a sliding roof and a 4-sided video scoreboard. But there was no money behind the idea. And without an agreement, the dispute went into arbitration. In 2013, the decision came down. The dome wasn't first tier anymore. And the only way to make it so was by following the Rams' $700 million vision, something the city couldn't afford. By then, rumors had already started. Was the team planning a move? In 2014, those whispers got louder when Rams owner Stan Kroenke quietly bought 60 acres of land in Inglewood, California. That land was originally set aside for a Walmart, but instead, it became the future site of SoFi Stadium. Just a year later, the plans were made public. A massive stadium, an entertainment district, even a music venue, all privately funded. St. Louis scrambled to respond. Officials proposed a new stadium on the riverfront, but it was too little, too late. In early 2016, the NFL officially approved the Rams' move back to Los Angeles. The Rams played their final game in St. Louis in December 2015. Edward Jones quickly pulled their sponsorship. The Dome lost its name and much of its purpose, but the city didn't back down completely. In 2017, St. Louis sued. The lawsuit accused the NFL and Kroenke of lying during the relocation process. The city claimed they were misled and deserved compensation. After years of legal battles, the NFL agreed to pay $790 million in 2021, one of the largest settlements in sports history. Even so, the damage was done. The team was gone, and the Dome was left behind. Then came a spark of hope. In 2020, football made a return. Not the NFL, but the XFL. The St. Louis Battlehawks were announced as a new team. It wasn't the same, but fans showed up in huge numbers. At their first home game, nearly 30,000 people packed the Dome. In 2023, that number climbed even higher. Over 38,000 fans broke the XFL attendance record. St. Louis proved something important. The city still loves football, but love alone won't pay for repairs. In 2024, local officials proposed a new plan, a $155 million upgrade to modernize the Dome. The idea was to make it suitable for big events again, like Final Fours or bowl games. The updates would include better lighting, sound systems, and modern video boards. The only problem? No one wants to pay for it. As of early 2025, there's still no funding in place. The Dome's ownership is split between city and county authorities. Some settlement money from the NFL lawsuit was set aside for Dome improvements, but it's not enough to cover the full cost. That leaves St. Louis with tough choices. Should the Dome be renovated, sold, or even torn down? Or should it just stay as it is, used for occasional conventions and sports events, but nothing more? Other cities, like San Antonio, have managed to revive old stadiums. Their Alamo Dome hosted a Final Four and brought millions into the local economy. But the Dome in St. Louis faces bigger issues. Its design, layout, and poor reputation hold it back. Still, not all hope is lost. In 2025, the city is set to host more conventions at the Dome than it has in over a decade. That shows potential. It shows that even an aging stadium with the right strategy can still play a role. So what happens next? That's up to city leaders, sports officials, and maybe even the fans. But one thing's for sure, the story of the Dome at America's center is far from over. It's a story of ambition, missteps, and second chances. And maybe, just maybe, it still has one more chapter left.